The game was really never competitive. Brady threw a couple of interceptions, but an interception there. After the game, player went up to him and said, "Hey, you're the greatest. Been watching you since I was 2 years old. Jim, Mike Jones, been watching Tom since he was 2." Okay. All right. So Tom, at 45 years old, gave him an autograph on his podcast. So Jim, go ahead. I know you want to say something to me because you think I'm being maybe unfair. What, you got some comments about Tom Brady? Go ahead. Just hit me with it.
No, I just find it curious how quickly you turn on your guys, your friends. You know, Tom's your guy. How could you? Why are you so negative?
All right. So I just want to say this, and Mike, I want you to know this too, because I don't want any of my friends to think, oh, this is how it is when I start to struggle. Oh, your brother's going to start taking shots at me. Tom Brady, I'm so thankful for Tom Brady. I've told you that this house that I'm sitting in, Tom Brady built the house. My kids are going to college on the Tom Brady Scholarship Fund. Okay. Now, Tom Brady has been good to the Holley family. So I love Tom Brady. His success has been our success. Thank you, Tom. It's not personal. Mike, does this sound like it's personal? It's not personal. I am just stating what everybody sees, including Mike Jones, and that is, just because you're the greatest of all time doesn't mean that automatically your team is going to come along with you. You can't be, at some point, you lose the ability to drag a team, to will a team to victory. And that's where Tom Brady is now. He's still a very good quarterback, but he is not a top 3 quarterback in this league anymore. Career-wise, yes. Currently, no. And that's why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, despite Brady's good play, he can't overcome. Brady is not able, Mike, to cover up all the things that ail the Buccaneers. Agree or disagree?
Well, in the words of Giselle, is he supposed to catch the passes too and make the tackles and get interceptions too? I mean, he can still play at a high level, but the defense is letting him down. His left tackle, who holds every single play, is letting him down. The inconsistent wide receivers that he can't get on the same page with are letting him down. So Brady is still Brady.
No.
Almost.
No.
There might be a little bit of a, that edge isn't quite there, but he could still be doing better if he had the support that he had in 2020 from this Bucs team.
Can I just say, Mike? Can I just say, Brady is not still Brady. Not Brady all caps. He's capital B, lowercase Rady, Brady. But it used to be Brady. Hey, you talking about the defense? I watched Tom Brady carry. This is facts. You look it up. I watched Tom Brady carry one of the worst defenses since the merger to the Super Bowl. All right, the 2011 Patriots went to the Super Bowl. They had, yardage-wise, they were one of the worst defenses ever. And he carried them to the Super Bowl because he was that dude. He was. But he's not that anymore. He's still very good.
Can I jump in for one quick second? I would like to ask our illustrious producer, Gary Carter, go back prior to week 1, please, and bring the clip back of me saying I didn't think the Tampa Bay Bucs would make the playoffs, and bring back and show not only the expression on Michael Holley's face, but what he had to say to me about how foolish, in essence, I was being by saying that.
Ooh, I don't recall that. I wouldn't say that.
Why?
I don't recall that.
Because of Tom Brady. Because of Tom. How could you say that about Tom Brady? Not making the play? No. And now look at him. Now he's just going off on his boy.
Jim,
now he's just hitting
probably
them
said
hard.
it. Jim, hey, look, Jim, you probably said in the summer, content, you're just kind of scratching for content in the summer. I was just trying to push you on. You know what I mean? I agree with you, but hey, man, we're trying to do a show here. We gotta create
now you agreed with
stuff,
me.
Okay, well, I agree with you.
You left me out on you left me out on that limb by myself for somebody who agreed with me.
It was good for you, though.
Right?
It was good for you.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Let's hear from Mike Jones. He's smarter than both of us about all this. Go on, Mike Jones.
Yes, he is.
No, No. I am not. I am still trying to be like Lord Trotter when I grow up, which is a long way from now. I actually walked up to him the first time in Ashburn. I said, "Hi, I've been reading you since I was 7 years old." And, he said, "Oh, well, he said, I was only 16 at the time, huh?" So, I agree with you that Brady, isn't quite have that edge, but he does have enough. And so when you're looking at people, you can't point the finger at him. Again, we saw a 70-yard touchdown pass to Mike Evans, who finally ran the right direction, called back because of holding. We've seen the defense not generate the pressure, not get the stops that they should. So I still think that if you had took Tom Brady and plugged him into another team where the defense was more consistent, where the talent was more consistent, where he had a reliable pass catching tight end, his team would have a winning record right now. Yes, this past Sunday, we saw him throw awful interceptions, but otherwise, we haven't seen him look awful this year.
I think there's a part of him, and this is just from afar too, as you watch him, I think there is a frustration level on his part right now about how he has not, and this team has not, been able to get on track consistently. There might be a performance at the end of the game where they make a final drive score to win or whatever, and you think, okay, now we're turning the corner, and then you come back out the next week like they did this past Sunday and just get the brakes beaten off of them. So I think there's a level of frustration with him, and I think that maybe he has tried to do some things or force some things that maybe he might not have in the past. I do agree, if this is possible, I agree with both of you. I think with Mike, Tom Brady's still an elite quarterback. But to Michael's point, there are certain things he no longer does as well as he used to earlier in his career. But if you put him on a team where you can play complementary football, where your offensive tackle isn't holding on every other pass play, or where he can get on the same page with his receiver, to me, there's nothing that says he can't go back to another Super Bowl. But can he get into one of those situations?
Let's stay right there. I'm going to say something that will surprise you both. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have scored fewer points this year than the New England Patriots. And that's something. Like the Patriots. Yeah. And so Brady has handpicked everything that's happening in Tampa. He has created it. He didn't have to deal with Joe Judge and Matt Patricia as his quarterback coach and his offensive coordinator. He's got Mike Evans, as you said earlier. Jim brought in Julio Jones. All these pieces that he has made happen, and yet their offense is worse than the Patriots' offense, if you can believe that. But Mike, I want to ask you, what have you heard about next year for Brady? I think he will play. Any whispers about where he's going? Because I think Kyle Shanahan wanted him, and then he played him on Sunday. He's like, "No, we're good."
I was
but where's he gonna go?
I was asking a number of people about this just after Sunday, just saying like, hey, what do you think? And a lot of people are still kind of 50-50. A number of people still think, nah, he's probably going to hang it up. But you never can say never until Brady says so. Then other people say, hey, you know what? San Francisco could be an option. Obviously, they've got some figuring out to do with Trey Lance, who there's still a lot of questions that they gave up the farm for. But San Francisco, is Las Vegas an option? Would the New York Jets be an option? Go up there and torment Bill Belichick twice a year with a really talented defense and some young on the rise offensive players. But then what if Robert Kraft says to Bill Belichick, hey, Mac Jones is up and down. Let's load this thing up and get Brady for one more last hurrah, and you guys can ride off into the sunset together. Or what if Mike Vrabel tries to get his buddy to come over and help him? He's going to have some options. If he does decide, there's going to be probably about 6 teams that have quality defenses, quality run games, and need a veteran quarterback like him that could give them a chance to make a run at a Super Bowl.
Forgot about the one other Patriot guy, McDaniels, out there in Vegas.
I said Las Vegas. Yeah, I said Las Vegas.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you. When you get old, okay. Your hearing's one of the first things to go. So.
Listen, I did that to you. I did that to you earlier too, Jim. I did that earlier.
It's all good.
On the Mercedes,
but the other thing,
Bruce Arians.
Yeah. But the other thing with Tom, too, is he's got 30 plus million a year waiting for him in the broadcast booth. So he may say, I don't need this frustration anymore. I am the GOAT. I'm the greatest of all time. Let me go on and move on and have some fun and make that kind of money. So a lot of unknowns here.
I want you guys, I want you to look at something, as an HBCU dad, Mike Jones, as an HBCU grad, Jim Trotter, I want you to, well, it's not ready yet. I have something for you. I have something. That's a little tease, though. That was a tease. I got something for you guys this segment. So stay close. I have a surprise for you coming up in a couple of minutes. And it's not a surprise that's gonna. I know you guys are looking at me like, oh, he's gonna try to set us up, do something. He's gonna try to embarrass us. I'm not gonna do that. It's gonna be a good thing. But let me ask you about something else, though. I asked Charles Robinson this yesterday. I want you both to answer this question before we get to our surprise. I look at the AFC, and I think the Cincinnati Bengals are the best team in the AFC. That's saying something, because last year I doubted them the entire time until it was time to go to the Super Bowl, and NBC told me that I was going to be the Bengals beat reporter. Then I turned on them real. Like, hey, Bengals, good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, I've been supporting you all year. I got you. Hey, Zach, Joe, what's up, Jamar? What's up, baby? Good to see you. But anyway, last year it was a long way for me to figure out Cincinnati was good. But I believe it now. Cincinnati, I say they're the best team in the AFC over Kansas City, 3-0 in the last calendar year over the Chiefs, and over Buffalo. What do you, both of you, I'd like to get your response to that.
Go ahead, Mike.
I don't think so. I do think they are the number 2 team in the AFC. I think that the way that they've been able to string together wins despite having key pieces on offense not there, losing guys on defense, I think that is impressive. I think that the way that Joe Burrow has kept this thing going is impressive. But I know they beat the Chiefs one time. I don't know. Can you do it again? My money would be with Patrick Mahomes. And so I'm going with them. Yes, their defense has some, little hiccups here and there. But the way that they're able to move the football, you have an ugly game, you throw 3 interceptions and you still win handily with 3 touchdown passes and key plays. The Chiefs are my pick for the number 1 team in the AFC, but the Bengals is number 2.
No, I got to side with Michael on this one from this standpoint. Number 1, as you say, can they do it again? As Michael said, they've done it 3 times in a calendar year. And that plays with you psychologically when you go against opponent as well, because Patrick Mahomes wanted that game earlier this year against the Bengals. He wanted to quiet all that talk that they had the Chiefs numbers, and it didn't happen. But the real reason I would go with Cincinnati at this point is this. They started out struggling. And we all talked about Super Bowl hangovers and all of that. And now they've turned that around despite all of the things that have happened in terms of injuries, Burrow starting slow, all of those various things. And they're playing some of the best football in the NFL right now. So when we get to this time of year, we talk about health and we talk about momentum. And the Bengals, to me, seem to have that more than any other club in the AFC at this point. So we say styles make fights, and if it winds up being the Bengals and Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, I got to put my money on the Bengals again based on history.
But look at that step finish for them. Do you think that they can carry that momentum over? That's the thing, though. The Chiefs have an easy momentum building schedule down the stretch, but the Bengals, that's not an easy cakewalk right there.
Well, let me. Okay,
who's your top team?
To that point, that's what I was going to ask.
Who's a tough team there? I see one.
You see one? No, I see the
one.
Patriots defense could give them some trouble. Obviously the Bills are tough,
but they can't score.
The Ravens are divisional, but the Ravens are a divisional team that has already beaten them once. If they have Lamar Jackson healthy, that's another tough one right there. So I'm not saying that I don't know that this is going to be an easy, momentum building home stretch for them.
Well, first of all, go ahead, Michael.
Go ahead, Jim. No, Jim, go ahead.
No, I mean, the Bucs are a gimme right now, the way the Bucs are playing. Who put the schedule back up so I can see it? My screen went to another one, so it's small, so I can't see. But the Patriots, The Patriots can't score enough to keep pace with them, in my opinion. The Bills will be the one tough game Michael talked about. And to the Ravens' point, now that next game will be played in Cincinnati. And I think that the Bengals, if you go back to last year in terms of how they played Baltimore, they played them extremely tough as well. And you got to hope that Lamar is healthy at that point. So to me, I'm not necessarily going to say that that's a tough stretch for the Bengals going forward with the way that they're playing.
Yeah, and I know, Mike, last year, I know there were a lot of things going on with Baltimore injury-wise. I mean, they were decimated by injury last year. But in those games, Cincinnati really destroyed.
Wow.
I mean, they destroyed the Ravens. It was almost like the Ravens really had no answer. And I guess they've had 2 looks at Jamar Chase now, so they should have a pretty good idea of how to play them. But Jamar Chase had his coming out party, one of his many coming out parties last year, but one of the big ones, it was his white party. He had his white party against the Baltimore Ravens, where he had over like 200 yards against them. So the Bengals historically have struggled against the Browns and have done very well against the Ravens and Steelers lately. So we'll see. I think it's been pretty impressive. No matter what happens with them, it's been impressive. And tell me if you agree with this, Mike. One of my last things for you before I show you my surprise. That didn't come out right. One of the last things before we get to
Oh my goodness. Oh. YouTube bloopers. Here it comes.
We talk about beating ass and surprises and
Yeah, I didn't really have a great night of sleep. So I was up watching Patriots Cardinals. It kind of does things to your brain. But last thing I'll say before we get to the surprise, it's not mine, the surprise, and that is that a lot of teams, those Super Bowl losers, lots of stats about you lose the Super Bowl and then you just kind of collapse. They've acquitted themselves very well, and that's not easy to do. Agree?
No, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I mean, look, the Super Bowl hangover normally gets the loser, and it got the Super Bowl champ. And the Bengals looked like they had a little bit of a tough stretch, but they pulled their way through and are looking, as formidable as ever. Again, I still roll with Patrick Mahomes, but they are impressive.
All right, last thing. I want you guys.
Hit one quick thing real quick. Correct me if I'm wrong. Patrick Mahomes has never played a road playoff game, correct?
No, I think you're right. They've had the number one.
Right.
No. Didn't they play up in New England? No, you're right.
No, New England went
you're
there.
Right. No, they have
there.
not. Yeah.
They would. I think it's fairly important for Kansas City to maintain that 1 seed, in my opinion.
For sure.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that I want to be the Chiefs going on the road to play the Bengals.
But they don't have the 1
AFC
seed.
championship.
They don't have it. Buffalo has it.
Oh, Buffalo has it right now? Okay.
Yeah, because Buffalo beat them. Buffalo beat them head to head.
That's right. You're right.
So
You're right.
So they got it over. So Buffalo has it over the Chiefs. All right, check this out. Guys, we had a lot of conversations the last week about Deion Sanders leaving Jackson State for Colorado. Lots of interesting, provocative dialogue that really was generated from that singular event, Deion going to Colorado. Well, there was some news with Jackson State today. I want you to take a listen and take a look.
Make sure he's ready to come in, Coach. The 22nd head coach of Jackson State University. Is he ready to come in, Coach? The next head coach of Jackson State University, the one and only TC.
Oh, there's a scene right there. The new head coach at Jackson State is T.C. Taylor. He played there from 1998 to 2001. And, you know, fellas, what really stands out to me, you know, we get so caught up in our conversations about, hey, what did Deion do this the right way? And, hey, Deion left Jackson State and he said goodbye. And what about those kids? And what about us? Well, Deion Sanders is there, the head coach of Colorado, the former coach of Jackson State. Deion Sanders is there for this announcement for Jackson State's new head coach. Jim, I've heard your take on Deion Sanders going to Colorado. Mike Jones, I haven't heard yours. Just your thought about Deion to Colorado and his replacement, T.C. Taylor, there today.
No, I think it's great for him going to Colorado. Look, he did a ton for Jackson State, raised the profile of them and other HBCUs, so he wants to go on and move on to another challenge. Go for it. I'm all for that. But he's also definitely leaving that school in a better position than what it was when he took over. And look, now you see he's elevated one of the top assistants there that you clearly see that the guys have a lot of respect for. You see that job means a lot to Taylor as well. How can you not feel good when you see that? So Deion is still invested. He is not just using that to scrap it and just move on. I think that he's leaving it in the right way.
Yeah, you know, that's great. And, Jim, it reminded me, and we'll go to break on this, it reminded me of Marcus Freeman when he was announced at Notre Dame. And everybody, all the players, he walked in, and the players were just so excited to see somebody who was a part of their program, get promoted. So I'd say good for everybody involved. Good for Deion at Colorado. Good for T.C. Taylor there in Jackson, Mississippi at Jackson State. And Mike Jones, good for you.
That celebratory moment was longer than Deion's tenure at Jackson State.
Oh, wow, the shots continue.
So what?
Oh,
Goodness.
Take the high road.
Wow.
Take the high road, Jim. Mike Jones, good to see you.
I'll see you guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.